Oh,
We're live. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome back to Naylo's Thrift Talk. I'm Lola,
and I'm Nay.
and this is a weekly live YouTube show all about thrifting and reselling and basically buying secondhand and selling secondhand stuff to create a better life for us and for the world. Be eco-friendly. And today we are talking all about jeans. So we have a ton of information in this episode. Super excited about it. Nate, do you want to say a little about what we're planning to cover today?
Yeah, of course. So we are going to be talking all about jeans, a little bit about the history, a lot about different brands, the styles. Like I know for some of you, like it can be a little overwhelming. Even like in the item specifics, we'll go over that a little bit. Like what are the different cuts? What do you fill out for? What are the different fabrics? Because jeans are not denim, can be different fabrics. What some BOLOs, some really crazy holy grails that you never know you might find. So we're going to be covering all of that, not giving an extensive rundown on any particular brand. Like Levi's, you could just go down a rabbit hole with just that, but just an overview of what to look for, what's trending, what the different styles are, what the different cuts are, and so on and so forth. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And we have our first segment, which is what thrifted items are Nay and Lola wearing? And I should add Nay's Manny because I'm going to be doing my Manny from now here on in. I think I'm just going to dress her every week because it's so much fun.
I love your Manny. She always has the best outfit.
Yeah. So,
okay. And we're trying a little bit of a new, let's see here.
That's great.
New tools on StreamYard. So
yeah,
and have a little technical difficulties.
Jason for his little tutorial last week with that. Yeah.
And I know in the comments on our videos and in the chat, you guys have said like, oh, please make yourselves bigger so we can see better. So I think this should solve the problem. So you can see what we're talking about a little bit more easily. So I set out to find like a fun, funky denim jeans item in my death pile to wear today, and I found instead this shirt, which I totally forgot about.
What is awesomeness? What is it? I want to know about it.
It's like a rodeo top. It's a little small.
It's fantastic.
Isn't it fun? So I thrifted this. I think we were together. I definitely bought it when I was still in Philly. It's been a while, and it's just been in my closet because I've tried to research it a couple times, and I cannot find anything about it. I mean, it's definitely like rodeo wear. I think it really is like a shirt that was made to wear for like competing in rodeo. So, like the brand didn't bring up that much information. Of course, I could just list it and have, use the keywords like fringe, and it has these little rhinestone buttons and all of this like rope embellishments and stuff. Probably would be good for Halloween. Missed the boat on that, but I just don't know how to price it. So
it is just amazing. You have to keep it because it fits you so well too, and it looks great.
Okay, it feels a little small on me.
It looks good though. It looks like it fits.
And it has like this fun cutout in the back. It's just
oh my gosh,
really
that
great
is
top.
awesome.
I could see a hipster wearing it. I mean, I'm kind of a hipster myself, just like as a normal shirt. Or maybe there's a market for rodeo girls who like need stuff to wear to the rodeo. No idea. If you know anything about this world and this is actually like a $200 shirt or something, like please let me know in the comments. And
I could see somebody paying up for it though, even if it's not like necessarily like it wasn't like something like that, originally, but I could see someone easily paying up for that.
So that's why, and that's why I've been resisting listing it because I feel like I might just list it too low, but maybe just list it high and be prepared to take an offer. And enjoy it in the meantime. So yeah, I thought it was appropriate for today because it's like jeans, but not quite. And what are you wearing?
So I am wearing, so I have on today. So this is my Mannequin, and she has on this awesome vintage. It's like a handmade vintage 60s top with this like this insane fabric. It's like velvet, but it's got like
What is it like?
Um,
Soldiers or like?
They're like the guys in that stand in like the castles, like with the knights. That's what it is. Knights.
Are they actually in armor?
Yes, they're in armor. And I think there's also some Egyptian. There's like Roman. It kind of spans like a few different. It's very odd, but also has on these are. Excuse my my. So her stand is broken and she's very wobbly. So getting her to stand is tough these days because her whole stand is like has broken and I can't seem to get it to fix right. So if I touch her the wrong way, the whole thing comes crashing down. But so sorry about that. She's wearing current Elliott jeans. They are distressed. They're boyfriend cut. They're high rise. And I've sold these jeans twice. First time the buyer didn't pay. Second time I sold them on Poshmark and the buyer was they didn't fit them. And they were trying to skirt the return process by saying that I was a quarter of an inch off with my waist measurement.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that. Was
so Poshmark did approve the return and they came back to me. She said, so the waist, it's like a 26-inch waist. And she said that they were actually like 26 and a quarter inch, which I would think if they were bigger, they would actually fit better. You know, if you have that little extra quarter.
Especially because they're the slouchy style. So that's,
yeah. So I think it was totally, you know, obviously they didn't fit her and she just wanted to return them. And surprisingly, Poshmark did approve that. You know what? I'm fine with it. I got them back. I'll sell them a third time. So, but they're kind of cool. I wish I was a 26-inch waist or a 26 and a quarter inch waist, according to my buyer, because they are super cute. But I haven't been a 26-inch waist for many years. So, and I am wearing. My dog is now here. He is going to start. So I am actually all decked out in thrifted Target brands, oddly. So and Old Navy. So this shirt underneath is Old Navy. This shirt is Knox Rose, which is Target. But it's kind of cute. It's got like this embroidered detail. And I am wearing jeans, which I don't usually wear. I will try to get them. I don't know if you can.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So they are distressed. So these are high rise. So actually one of my favorite brands, it's so odd because I love the expensive brands, but for myself, I always like the cheaper brands of everything. So Universal Thread is a Target brand and I love their jeans because they're so comfortable and they just always fit me so well. So these are high-rise distressed, they're high-rise distressed skinny jeans. And they're just so comfy and so stretchy and the fabric is so soft. So these are some of my favorite jeans. So not always. Oh, and there are buyers. We'll talk about that. There are buyers who are loyal to those more less expensive brands. And so sometimes, you know, they'll sell well. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's hard for you to see because but you can kind of see the
cute. Yeah.
Yeah, they're super cute. So anyway, so that is my outfit. And our thrifted home decor is.
I forgot to grab mine. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I can go
this week because I'm just thinking if I have anything to show, and I think I've shown everything. That's
fine.
Sorry.
So I'm usually the one to forget. So I have so our thrifted home decor. So what items do we have that are thrifted that fit into the home decor category? So I have a couple of things. Actually, also, I wanted to put this on my Manny, but with her broken stand, she can't hold a purse right now because she'll just tip over. But this is kind of fun because it's a Dooney Bourke. It's a vintage purse, which I love. I have it up for sale on Poshmark, but I kind of want to keep it. And, you know, so if it doesn't sell, I might end up. But it's denim. So I wanted to kind of put the purse on her shoulder, but I couldn't do that because she'll just fall over because her stand is broken. So anyway,
that would be so fun for
but yeah, so that was kind of her accessory for today. But I have, and you probably saw these in my messy foreground. So my son, we saw Monsters Inc. My 7-year-old we've seen it before, but he didn't really remember it. So we saw it like a couple weekends ago and he loved it. And he fell in love with Mike Wazowski. Wazowski. I'm butchering his last name, but this is the character, the one monster from the movie, and he fell in love with him. So I saw on Shop Goodwill, I saw a lot of plush and I bid on it and I won it for like $5 or something really low. And I bid on something else from them that I wanted for resale and so that I could combine the shipping. So I won the 2 auctions, and Mike Wazowski, he's just a Kohl's Pixar, so he really wouldn't be worth much for resale. But my son is in love with him. He sleeps with him every night. He cuddles him. So win-win in that sense. So it's home decor on my son's bed. He also came with this bonus Care Bear. This was in the lot. Now I can clean it up. The belt, it's actually the dirt didn't show in the auction. I didn't, but I'll get this cleaned up, and I might end up selling just the Care Bear. So, that way I'll make some of my money back. But it's not a vintage 80s Care Bear. It is the reboot, which is like from like the mid 2000s. So something like 2004 or so. So still older, but not like the original 80s Care Bear. But still, he has some value. Like I might sell him for like 15, maybe $20. So if I can get him cleaned up. So that is my thrifted home decor.
Cool.
And I just wanted to go through. We have a little bit of housekeeping. There we go. Yeah, thank you. So, so next week we're going to be talking about cottagecore, and I know a lot of you are saying, what is cottagecore? So it is a whole like aesthetic movement kind of thing where, and we'll be talking about exactly what it is. I don't want to give too much away, but it's trending very, 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 it's like very popular. It's trending right now. And there are a lot of fashion and other like decor related items that go with the whole cottagecore aesthetic kind of trend. And so we will be talking about what to look for, what platforms to sell on, and how you can get those keywords in and advertise your items so that you can sell them toward, angle them towards that cottagecore audience. So
yeah, that's probably a lot of things you've already got. So it's not necessarily about going out and sourcing new things, although maybe be inspired and like might notice some things you hadn't noticed before, but you may also just, be revamping your keywords on things that are already listed. So
exactly. So also I've been doing a breast cancer. So it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I have been doing a fact or some kind of information. I'm trying to educate this month because I am a breast cancer survivor. So I wanted to give this information. So this gives you an idea of the scale of it, of what an issue this disease is, and how many women and men it affects. So 1.4 million women and men, they didn't include men in there, but there are men who get breast cancer globally or diagnosed with breast cancer each year. That's a lot. That's a lot of people on the planet. 1.7 million new cases. This is by 2020, which we're in 2020. So we're about there right now, breast cancer annually. So that is a lot of new cases for, annually. That's crazy. And 500,000 deaths. And I'm sorry, these are the numbers that are diagnosed with breast cancer just each year. This is just the diagnosis each year. So you can see that the trend is going up. Like they estimated by 2020, and we're about there right now. This graphic is like a year old or a couple years old. So we're about there right now with the 1.7 million new cases globally annually. That is insane. So think about those numbers. 500,000 deaths globally, and of those 500,000 deaths, some people very near and dear to me have passed away. When you are in the breast cancer community, when you are a survivor, you become friends with other survivors, and some of your friends sadly do die. I've talked about some of my friends who have passed away. I had a beautiful friend named Becky. I had another beautiful friend named Sarita. Both were young, full of life, beautiful, beautiful women, left behind children. And, the disease took them. And it's sad because this is happening every day. My grandmother, I never got to meet my grandmother on my father's side because she passed away in the 70s when they didn't have as much. I think she would have probably been able to stay alive longer had it been today, but still, it robs people of meeting family members. It robs people of sisters and mothers and friends, and it is horrific. So just know that it's not just about pretty pink ribbons and, save the boobs, and it's about saving women's lives. That's what it's about. So I do get very offended when I see some of those. And I know a lot of them do mean well, but I see a lot of those really offensive campaigns at this time of year, save the Tata, save the boobies. And it's not about that. It's not, it needs to stop being sexualized. It's not about, tissue on your chest. It is about, because mine couldn't be saved. It is about women's lives, men's lives. It is about lives, saving lives. So. And then 10.5% of cancers breast cancer comprises 10.5% of all new cancers worldwide. That's a huge percentage if you put it into perspective. How many types of cancers there are? That's 10.5%. That's a huge number. So just keep that in mind and know, that it is serious. And if you can do anything to advocate, educate, or, donate to worthy charities, please do so. And with that, next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, I will be on a panel on Thrifty Business, which is our good friend Jason's YouTube show. So Thursday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have a panel with all online sellers who are also breast cancer survivors. And I'm going to be co-hosting the show with Jason. So I'll be telling my story and talking about a little bit about it. And we'll all be kind of talking about our own stories and spreading awareness, and also talking about what it's like to be an online seller who also is a breast cancer survivor and has dealt with some health challenges while, selling online and so forth. So that is going, so definitely tune in for that show. And I have talked about this before, that I am, so thank you, Jason. So if you know anyone that's gone through breast cancer, and I think we might be looking for a couple more people on the panel. We do have quite a full panel now, but I know I was interested in if there are, and I know it's rare for men to have breast cancer, but if there are any men out there who are watching who have been, breast cancer survivors, and you would be interested in being on the show, please, get in touch with Jason or I. So thank you, Brian. That's Brian, our friend Brian. Thank you. And so I am also I talk about this every week. So I am a graphic designer, and I am offering special deals for online sellers. These are really heavily discounted packages. So you'll see there's 3 different price points, and I can do items a la carte, and I can do, special requests and whatnot. So whatever you need, and if you want to get your eBay store designed and branded, and you have an Etsy store too, if you buy one package, you'll get the second one for 25% off. So please let me know if you're interested. You can contact me through a million places. This is my Facebook business page. So, and we are going to be diving into our main segment now. So,
were you going to open your package, or did you want to do that later?
Oh, I forgot. Yes. Oh my gosh, I've been done. So here's the funny thing. So thank you, Lola. So here is. Can you bring me up on the big screen? Thank you. So Lola sent me my birthday present from last year. My birthday or an early this year birthday present. So my birthday is December 7th, so it's coming up again. But we have a tradition every year that we get each other thrifted gifts, thrifted gifts. And so I'm assuming that this is something thrifted. So I did get the box, and I already noticed that the box is
the box I mentioned on the show the other week.
Yeah, So I got a recycled box, which is really cool.
From
So
Goodwill.
appropriate. Yeah. So
I remember someone, I forget who it was, and someone in the chat was like, I don't think I would use that box to ship like an eBay sale. And I was like, nope, it's going to Nay. That's why.
Oh my gosh, these are awesome. Oh, this is so funny. So I already know what this. Okay, so happy extremely belated birthday. I'm so thankful for your friendship. Aw, always, but especially during this extremely difficult. Yeah, I know this has been a weird year. So aw, so sweet. So okay, so PS, I bet you can figure out what part of this gift were thrifted. So I already see in so, oh my gosh, these are the Lily shorts that I sent you.
Yeah, so Nay sent me a pair of Lily shorts with a big stain that she said, try to get it out, or if not, make it into something else. And I could not get the stains out, so I turned them into masks. No.
Uh-oh. So cool.
And the inside is also from,
love it.
I think it was a shirt I got at the bins. Yeah. Both, I think both have different linings, and they're both shirts from the bins.
They look like men's shirts, yeah.
Very carefully washed and disinfected from bin gunk, but.
Look at that. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, and then I didn't have enough.
I like how the front is like half Lily and half. That's so much. That is so fun. And it's like heavy. It's really heavy quality fabric. So these are thick and they have nice. These are really well made. They have wires in the nose. So.
They do, yeah.
And oh my goodness, I love this.
This one is not thrifted. I had to buy this fabric.
Well, we don't make it a secret of our, we don't make it so political, but we don't make a secret of our political views. So this is perfect. And I did just cast my vote for.
It looks great. So
I love it. Oh my gosh. That is so awesome. So you can see that it is.
You can also tell I've been getting even better at my mask making. So that one has a little bit, has its own like nose wire channel.
Oh,
so
it's amazing. Like the quality of these is amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. And oh my goodness. Oh, I'm in love with this. Oh my gosh. Do I recognize some of this fabric in here?
Yes. Okay. So the yarn I did not thrift, but the silk parts are from the silk scarves that I talked about on our scarves episode. So I cut them into strips and knit them with the yarn into the scarf.
So amazing. Look at that. Look at that. It's so cool. So these are all thrifted, repurposed silk scarves with yarn. Oh my gosh, I love it.
And
oh,
it's like
I love it. It's so cozy.
You should be able to wrap it around 2 or 3 times depending on.
Oh yeah, this is great. I love it. Oh,
yeah, I'm so glad. So much. And that's why it took me forever, because
this is it's so warm and cozy. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
So that is the best when not only is it made out of thrifted items, but it's also made with love by Lola. So thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much, Lola. I love it. So Lola is very talented.
Yes. It's always fun to get to share the stuff I make out of thrifted materials. So
without
if you were also crafty, you can turn stuff from a thrift store into all kinds of different things, and like the sky's the limit. So Nay, you want to dive into?
Yes. So we are going to be talking. I'm sorry. I'm just like. Okay, so we're going to be talking about, all about jeans. And so the history, so I want to go through a little bit about the history of jeans. So, and there are a couple links here that we'll put, we'll pop into the description. So, as I'm going through, I'm going to show some links. So jeans were first invented as a miner's clothing during the gold rush and Western expansion in the U.S. So the first innovation was the addition of the rivet, which is these little thingies here.
Yeah, so that was what basically was what distinguished them at first from other work pants, was that the rivets were able to reinforce places where the miners would traditionally wear out their jeans first. But then also,
So my kids have hijacked the chat, just so that you know.
I was wondering if that was them.
Yeah, so apparently my kids are. So that is my child being a troll in the chat there. So
We'll forgive them. I think that's
oh, boy, I tell you, yeah. So yeah, so it really took the rivet, yeah, that the reinforced the areas that wear down with you. So the second invention was the development of the denim fabric that has become synonymous with the blue jeans. So they really took off with the development of the Levi's 501 style in 1890. And they moved on to the world of casual fashion as early as the 1930s. And then they became really solidified as a staple item in the 60s and 70s. So according to Levi's, jeans were called waist overalls until the 60s, when boomers coined the term jeans. So they're now worn by everyone. At one point, they were a significant marker of working class people, but now, they can even be very high end, as we'll show you some of the BOLOs. They can go into the thousands even.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in the late 1800s, the Met would be open for free 1 day a week, but there was a strict dress code and jeans were prohibited. You could come in only in your Sunday best. That is funny. That's
yeah.
Fun.
That one thing that I learned when I was doing some research in grad school that really stayed with me, because it's, so normal now. You just walk off the street in your jeans. But at one point it was very, it was looked down upon to wear blue jeans because you'd only wear them to be doing labor. And there was this idea that in order to appreciate art, you had to be dressed a certain way, you had to act a certain way. So it's interesting to see how much that's changed.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about denim material, it's traditionally made of cotton. It's a cotton twill fabric, and it's always dyed with indigo. And so that's why when you have a worn pair of blue jeans, you get that really great fading, you get the distressing, because indigo is a dye that doesn't completely stay in the fabric. And so it will, over time, it'll wash out slightly or get bleached by the sun. So that is why we can have such a wide variety of distressed styles of blue jeans. And there's a lot of great information on the history of denim and blue jeans on the internet.
Yeah.
I highly recommend, you can add these links in the description.
Yeah, so this is a good one here. I will put this in. This has some fun facts. There's even, this page, which is related to the other page. It has some really interesting facts here too. Like the first jeans came in two styles: indigo blue and brown cotton duck. They were originally called waist overalls, which I just talked about. The oldest known pair of jeans were found in 1997, and they were 100 years old. Yeah, so there's a lot of really fun, like some of them are really off the wall facts. So if you're interested in some of that, you can check out this link. This is another fact that I thought was interesting. So the orange thread that Levi and Strauss uses for the stitching of the jeans is trademarked. It is used as a distinguishable feature to match the color of the copper rivets. So that is interesting too. And so we will be talking about a little bit about that. And then also, so I don't know if, I guess the next thing that we're going to go into is, I did put some of these that you had. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. I'm trying to figure out.
So we did want to,
I know you had one from the Smithsonian. And,
yeah, there's a really great article from Smithsonian Magazine that really goes deep into the history. I think it's the one next to it. It's the little sunburst icon.
Okay.
That one.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Is it not coming up?
That's it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So this was really, really in depth about the history of blue jeans. I thought was fascinating. Vogue France has a really interesting article in their encyclopedia that was instructive. And the Levi Strauss website also has a bit more specifically about Levi's, but Levi's did really invent the blue jean. So when they're talking about their own history, they're talking about the history of jeans in general. So these are all
super so this is interesting. Yeah, this is an interesting read. So this is right on the Levi's website. So we will definitely include that too. So yeah, very cool.
And I did want to address why we would be doing a episode on jeans in 2020 of all times. There's definitely been a bit of a downturn in buying blue jeans. So that is not just a figment of our imagination. And I don't know if you pulled it up, Nay, but there was an article recently on Refinery 29, which is one of the sites that I turn to a lot for like fashion information.
What was it? The
Refinery 29.
I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't pull up that link.
That's okay. I'll make sure and add it to our notes. That has some data about the downturn in jean sales and how it's affected a few different companies that we will be talking about. Like I think Current Elliott was one of them. Maybe a few of the big name jean companies have been filing for bankruptcy this year. But basically what most of the fashion trend websites are saying is that even though they're maybe being bought in less numbers, they're still a staple. They will always be a staple. People will always be buying jeans. And there will still be a sort of 2020 jean fashion as there is every year. And this year, we're looking more at looser and baggier styles, and especially ones that look back to old, vintage styles. So the Y2K streetwear is always big. Yeah, the like baggier straight leg styles, and then the sort of the 80s boot cut and straight leg, and then 70s flare jeans and wide leg jeans.
Yeah. So this is an article just about some of the 2020 denim trends that are things. So, you see here distressed is like, these are actually pretty much exactly like the jeans I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
They're high-rise skinny jeans, except they're not Levi's, they're universal thread. But so this is Madewell mom jeans. Mom jeans is another thing that we are going to talk about. So you see the high waist on those, or, it used to be kind of like a taboo, like not, like an uncool thing to have, like it was something that, you kind of make fun of, like, oh, she's wearing mom jeans, but now it's actually cool.
Negative. Now they're cool and trendy.
Yeah. So boot cut is another thing. And my internet is really, I don't know why it's taking forever to load these. My gosh. But cropped boot cut, high rise and wide leg. I'll give it a minute there. There. Yeah, high rise and wide leg. You can see the high rise, the high waist on that. And yes. So these skinny jeans.
Yeah, so skinny jeans are still sticking around. They're not gone. But I definitely think there's an obvious trend towards like the more comfortable styles. So a little bit looser, a little bit baggier. And then I think when it comes to skinny jeans, sort of the more jegging, like very almost like yoga pant kind of styles instead of the really just like skin tight.
And ankle jeans were in for a long time. I think that style, will still always kind of be a
jeans. Hey,
what's that?
They're so hard to get to like look like they're not just too short on you, that they're like that's the right length.
So ankle are kind of like floods, I guess you would call them, but they're not threes, but they're not full length. So that is, but long form is now in style. So, full length, those longer inseams. So, and yeah, high rise seems to be the thing right now. But low rise is also kind of coming back in style. Low rise and boot cut, flared leg, so pleat fronts, these are high rise pleated. So there's, you can see the pleat front there. And so these are cropped jeans that I like. This is something that would be on like really trending on Depop is, just the cut off legs like that. So these are ankle crops. So this is an example of, these are little shorter though, but these are ankle. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are still.
Yeah. So,
For a while.
so we'll put that jean trends in there. And then I also have some interesting, oh my gosh, my internet is like, I'm sorry. I don't know what is going on. It's never this slow. Okay. So this is some of the, this is from Esquire magazine. So this is
More for
the
men.
top. Yeah, these are some of the brands that are trending, and I think that these are men's jeans here. So a lot of them are men's here. Looks like So Levi's, a 501 original is always going to be like a staple jean. Uniqlo, which I was surprised about that. That brand is, because that's Everlane. We'll talk about that brand. Gap. Page is another one. Now, Page jeans, though, for me, like I used to be able to sell them really well, and they've kind of gone like
the same.
Yeah, it's interesting how now I don't know this brand. So these are all men's. Naked and Famous, Mott and Bow, AG, Rag and Bone. That's another brand that does always do well for me. 316. So Madewell, we'll talk about those. So these are just some Acne Studios. These are all, some of the brands that are to look for that are trending right now.
Yeah, and a lot of
we will put a link.
Are also they're good brands regardless of their men's or women's jeans. They're a lot of these are both. BOLOs are both.
Yeah, so some of the jeans that we wanted to talk about were some of the brands that we specifically that you had mentioned. Some of these, Lola, to look for are Mother. Oh my gosh, I can't. I thought I could just bring up the websites, but for some reason I am having internet issues today. Okay, well, so Mother is one, Frame is another. I can't close any of these. There we go. Okay. So Frame is another brand to look for. And you can see that these new are like these are $220. They're expensive. They're not cheap. These are not. So if you're getting, they're like that people want to get on the secondhand market because they can afford them. And with jeans, it's not as much of a deal breaker if they have, wear or wash wear or a little bit, a little fraying or some holes and whatnot. So
right. I mean, remember, a lot of jeans are sold pre-distressed, pre-broken in. So to be selling a pair of naturally broken in jeans is actually for some people a positive. So it's definitely one of those items they keep their value fairly well. And that's the difference I've noticed between higher end brands that I still am super excited to find, and higher end brands. They're still considered premium denim, but I'm not as, I'll probably still pick them up, but they're not as exciting to me. So like Mother and Frame are two that I will easily sell for $50, $60 used pretty much every time.
Yeah.
I used to get something like that for like J Brand, Hudson, Current Elliott. And now, we still do fine, but you might be looking more at 25 to 30.
Yeah.
So, it's like if you're searching through a rack and you're grabbing jeans and they're not overpriced in the thrift store, then like still pick them up. But there's definitely some, like, there are trends with blue jean brands, and it's good to try and keep track of what brands are still kind of.
Yeah, because the thrift stores can also be kind of stuck on old trends. Like I will find, I know, at the Goodwill that I shopped at before pandemic times, there was a whole rack. There'd always be like a whole rack of Lucky Brand jeans marked like $20. True Religion, Seven for All Mankind, because those are the brands that, those brands still sell, but they do not bring anywhere near what they used to. Like they might now go for like $20, $25 where they used to go for like, $75 or whatever. Now they're not going to bring as much, but the thrift stores don't always get the memo that some of the brands, that some of those, trending brands aren't trending anymore, and they still have them like overpriced. And you'll see them plentiful in the boutique rack. So
that's such a good point. I think the first time I found a pair of frame jeans in the thrift store, I first found a pair of True Religion on the like boutique rack for $20. And then I went into the regular jeans rack and I found the pair of frame denim, which I then sold for $60, and I maybe paid $3 or $5 for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, it really pays off if you're keeping up with trends, because, you know, you can stay one step ahead of, you know, what the thrift store is marking up. So it's an awesome tip.
So, so Mother is one brand. I cannot for the life of me close that right now. So, but that's their website. So you might want to check out their website. But their jeans, again, you know, I'm looking at like $268 prices new. Also, it's not to say that some of those brands like the 7 from All Mankind, the True Religion, all if you're at the bins or whatever and you see them, by all means pick them up, because there are people that are still dedicated to those brands and they do still sell. I will still sell them. I get them sometimes for like $1 and I'll still sell them for like $20-$25.
Oh yeah, totally.
So yeah, so but don't go paying, you know, in the boutique section, don't pay $20-$25 for those, because they're not, you know, you're not going to make any money then. So Liverpool, or again, if you're buying for yourself, that's another thing. So Liverpool is another brand that they're not really priced that high to begin with. Like, you know, I'm talking like $89, $98, but they're a pretty steady seller for me, and not for a lot. You know, I'm talking like $25-$30, but that's another brand that I pick up that sells for me. And then, so Current Elliott, we talked about a little bit already. That it is kind of on the down slope, but I do love I love their jeans though. Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, so if I can lose like 50 pounds and be, you know, and be like, you know, like these would be equivalent to like a size 2 or something again, then by all means, like, you know, I would love to wear those jeans behind me, but I probably will never fit in them, and that is okay. But I do love some of the Current Elliott styles. They are, you know, they have some really nice jeans. So, but even like now you're seeing that some of them discounted. Like these are awesome. They're now $74.40 on the website. So, you know, it looks like they are definitely discounting them. And
yeah, I think they had a really
J brand one of
earlier this year, and I got a pair from the website for like $40 or $50 new. So they're definitely. Yeah. It's easier to get them cheaper. And then same with J brand. I definitely will see J brand sometimes new at like Marshalls or, you know, other sort of discount stores if you're lucky. So they're still considered a premium brand, but I think there's just a little bit more access to them new at cheaper prices. So they're not going to necessarily hold their value as much.
This is another brand that I have, you know, that I've come across. I wish I could, you know, if I found them in the thrift store, I'd pick them up in a heartbeat. But I do know that this brand does also sell well, especially on Poshmark, Zadig and Voltaire. So, and again, you can see like $258, $228. Like these are not cheap jeans. So, you know, if you find any of these brands, pick them up. Young, Fabulous, and Broke. Do you know that brand?
Yeah,
Lola too.
I have sold more of their, not their jeans as much as like a few jumpsuits from them and stuff. It's another brand that I think used to be actually more expensive retail than it is now. It feels like it's a little bit less expensive than it used to.
150, 100. Yeah, they're good. But I did see a lot of, when I was doing some research, I did see some of the Poshmark sold on their jeans, like their more casual style jeans, like, you know, that kind of thing, that they do, that they are trending on Poshmark now. So, you know, and then this is one that you had mentioned, Redone.
Yeah, Redon's like one of my holy grails. So what they do is they, if I understand correctly, they buy like dead stock Levi's and slightly alter them to make them more flattering for modern body types, and also just like what styles, what shapes, like silhouettes are in now.
Okay, so yeah, you do see Redone and then Levi's there. That's interesting. And they put a nice hefty price tag on it for the restyling. Like these are $300. They're wow. So that is pretty cool. I wonder. I'd love to see the label in one of these, but I don't know if they have. So it's RE
label in alongside the original.
That's what I'm wondering. Okay, so
I have a tank top on them. That was the only thing I could afford. And it does
That's
have
funny.
like original Levi's slash.
Okay, so they would have like the Levi's and they'd have to, yeah. So Madewell is another brand. That Madewell is owned by J. Crew, and they are really big on Poshmark for anything Madewell is. But I know their jeans are definitely, they sell well. So
yeah, and
I love how they have here on their website. This is actually a nice little style guide, by the way. So the way they have them categorized, skinny, curvy, you know, so this is a great way to see some of if you go to the Madewell website and go to their jeans, this is a great way to see what some of the profiles of some of the styles look like. So flares, wide, so you can see. So that's, I kind of like how they have those categorized.
I definitely don't get as much for Madewell jeans as they used to, but they still sell very consistently. So I do love picking them up.
So anything plus size, also, I'm going to say any plus size jeans will. So Torrid, this is the Torrid website, and you can see some of the plus size profiles there too. You know, they have, and you know, again, plus size women want to be cute too, and they want to have jeans that fit well. So anytime I see plus size denim, even in, you know, some of the lesser brands, they will sell well for me. So that's the Torrid website. So yeah, so definitely, you know, some of the, and then also, yeah, so these are, that was just a thing that I had. I'm not going to go down that one right now, but, so discontinued, that's the other thing, is discontinued brands and cuts, look for those too. So, you know, if I'm searching, if I just did a search for in eBay for discontinued, and I came up with so many. So if you want to find out what some of those styles are, you can use the keyword discontinued jeans, and you'll see some of the, now these aren't all, you know, going for a lot, but some of them are, you know, any of these discontinued cuts and discontinued styles, there are people that were dedicated to that. They bought 10 pairs of that same style, and those jeans are getting frayed and faded and, you know, worn out now, and they want to keep that style and they can't buy them new anymore. So here's, I mean, even like, you know, Starlet Ruth, some of them are like really low end brands. One of the ones that that I like is the Gap Long and Lean line. That is, it has, and I used to wear these, I used to wear it a lot, like when I wore jeans, like back in the day a lot, because I am a little bit taller, and like when I would wear boots or whatnot, I like it because they have like that, they have a longer inseam, and they have like that longer, you know, profile on them. So along the Gap Long and Lean line is something that a lot of taller women like them, and you know, there were people that were really dedicated to that style, and then they discontinued them. So that is another thing to definitely look for. Everlane is another brand that you had talked about. Lola. Yeah, so that's another trending brand on Poshmark. And then
for like sweaters and tops as well. The jeans are actually one of their more recent. They're probably like 3 or 4 years old now. But they do have one of their models is they have like limited current styles. So they do have some that they've discontinued. So like Nate said, it's something that, you know, some people are looking for. But then also it is pretty easy if you find them. It's pretty easy to figure out exactly what style they are, just because there aren't a ton to choose from. So when I found them in the past, it's taken me like, you know, a few minutes to figure out, oh, it's this wash, it's this style, it's this cut, and list them. Yeah, so that's great.
Okay. So another thing that you can do with jeans, like if you're buying, like even if you're buying, like if you buy one of the Goodwill blue boxes, the denim, and it used to be the denim repurpose box. Now they've overhauled, and it's just the jeans box. So it's not supposed to be, or the denim box is not necessarily like repurposed, but you might get some that aren't really good brands or good for resale, or they have a lot of flaws in them, or you might even find them in the bins with. You can do things like this and really, and especially if you're creative, and sell them. So Etsy is a great place for that. Somebody took these, and the brand isn't really going to matter in this case. The funkiness is what's going to matter. So these are tie-dyed. These are just express jeans, but you know, you might get maybe $20 for these if you weren't. But on Etsy, you can tie-dye them and do something like this and ask for $60 and get it. So,
and they don't need to be vintage if you're repurposing them.
Yes, exactly. On Etsy.
For vintage and handmade, so that then counts under the handmade.
So if you have artistic talent, which I do, and I should do something like this. Back in the day, like back in the early 2000s, I used to do this with jeans. I used to paint them. And you know what? I donated some of my painted jeans, and I'm so mad because they were so cute. But I could do this. You know, this is something that if you have the artistic talent and you can do something like this and ask for $63 for a pair of upcycled jeans. You know, if you have, so there's a lot of things that you can do with them. You can, and then also if they are completely, you know, if you're getting them in bulk and they're completely trashed or you can't do anything, you know, with them, you can always cut them apart and sell the pieces to crafters. So here's denim jeans parts. You can see like there's labels and a bunch of different, you know, things going on in there. And that, you know, they're only asking $12, but hey, if you're just going to trash them anyway, you know, that's a great, people cut the pockets and sell the pockets to quilters and crafters. So that's another thing that you can do. And then there's a lot of just the waistbands for crafting. So, you know, people do all kinds of things with them. They do quilts, they do pillows, they do purses, and God knows what else, you know, but if you are crafty, you know, the crafters are looking for that. Even the belt loops, if you cut there's a lot of 150 belt loops for $30, you know, so you can do things like that. So you really need to think outside the box too. If you can get them cheap or free and they're not something that is going to be sellable, you can always do that. So, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the profiles in the jeans too. So here's a good glossary of a style, and you can find these all over. Pinterest is a great resource. But you know, there's some of the fit, skinny jeggings or like really tight, regular fit, boot cut, loose fit. And then this is a good resource for the rise. So rise is the area of jeans from the crotch to the top of the jeans. Mm-hmm. And the different rises, like, so back in like the 90s, early 2000s, like low rise jeans were all the rage, and they are coming back now. But some of them were so low rise that you would bend down and you would be seeing butts, you know, butt cracks.
So, look, yeah.
Yes. So, you know, and now high rise are more in. I love that my high rise, because they kind of like, you know, will, my child is in here. Okay. You know what? And I think that is Alyssa and Kayla are my son's friends. So him and his friends are in our chat. So hi, Brendan. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Kayla. Thank you for watching. Oh boy. So yeah, so you'll see the different rises and the different profiles there. So medium, and you will see these in the item specifics in eBay too. So you're going to want to pay attention to what it's not only just a number, but also a profile, like high, medium, low. And then this is a great link for a glossary of kind of like some of the terms that you want to, that you might want to put, like, so bar tracks are closely stitched spaces that connect to a form or band that reinforces the corners and edges of the pockets and seams. So some of these are just nerdy terms that you're never going to need. But if you really want to dive in, but they also have like a lot of different cuts, the boot cut versus the boot leg versus the boy cut and the booty fit. And, you know, all these Brazilian jeans are really low rise jeans that, you know, they're usually really tight. Button fly is another thing that you want to make sure that you want to, if you have a button fly versus a zip fly, which is most of them are zip, you want to denote that and put pictures in your listing. Yeah. So this is a really good carpenter jeans. Usually have those extra pockets and like the loops. And then there's cargo jeans. There's, you know, just, so this is a really good glossary here. And I will put that in there too. You know, for it has a lot of denim terms and, you know, jeans terms. So definitely a good, and then selvage is another thing that, so do you want to explain a bit about this?
Yeah, so the selvage in general on a fabric is the edge that's made by the loom. So it's it sort of holds all of the threads in place. It's a little bit tighter. And in denim, selvage refers to nowadays a higher end way of creating the fabric and also creating the jeans themselves. So the selvage denim is made on a narrower loom using sort of old school methods that are generally understood to make a higher quality fabric than more modern methods. And the selvage of the fabric is incorporated into the jeans themselves. So that's what you see here in this picture, where there's that like white and red sort of strip on the edge. That's the selvage of the fabric. And instead of cutting it away, it's part of the seam in the jeans. And these can be very expensive jeans. If you see this, it generally means that that is a very nice pair of jeans, regardless of the brand. There are some brands that over the past few years, and this is all like pre-2020, so things have changed a little bit, but a lot of startups, like Kickstarter kind of companies, that were springing up in order to create these like very high-end sort of artisanal style jeans. And there are a lot of expensive and high-end brands that aren't huge names. So it's a good detail to look for because it might not be a name that catches your eye, but if you see the selvage denim, then it's worth Googling it and figuring out what that brand is. And there are a lot of denim collectors that seek these out. They're really big in Japan. A lot of these companies are based in Japan. They are, Japan is well known for being a place that creates high-end denim still, where, you know, it used to be an American thing. We used to have a lot of these factories in the US, but as American manufacturing died out, a lot of it was wiped out. And so Japan's one place where it sort of revived and been sustained. So two things to note is if you have a pair of jeans like this, make sure you're shipping internationally, because there's a lot of Japanese collectors who will pay for shipping. And also keep an eye out for Japanese denim, because there are also American collectors for whom, you know, those are holy grails. So that's a really good thing to be aware of.
Yeah. So, I mean, I want to kind of run through our outline a little bit here, Lola. I don't know. So there are some vintage.
I think we did talk about vintage jeans on a past episode, so I don't want to go too much into it. But it's definitely great to be looking for vintage jeans beyond Levi's. Like Levi's is the, you know, most famous. There's a lot of, you know, YouTube shows that will talk about looking for the big E Levi's. Obviously, that's amazing. But you can find awesome denim that's vintage that is beyond those. Calvin Klein is a good one with the like the iconic CK, but a couple examples here. But there are also a lot of baked Calvin Klein jeans. So this is one pair I have. I think these are real. I haven't listed them because I need to do a little bit more research. And these are just, these aren't super old. I think these are probably 2000s.
Well, you know what? Why don't we can we bring you up on the?
Oh yeah. Thanks for letting me. Yeah, so this is the CK Calvin Klein logo from when they were huge in the 90s. So like if you have a pair of Calvin Klein jeans that are from the 90s, yeah, those are good to look for. These are not worth a ton, but I did want to pick them up because we talked a couple times about the older Faded Glory. So these are not the old Faded Glory that like before they were a Walmart brand. They were actually, you know, their own brand, and they were so those are pretty good to look for. These are
we talked about how we actually saw a
this is an example of like the classic early 2000s low rise jeans. No back pockets and big flare. Yeah. So, you know, these probably won't go for a ton, but they're in style. So those are fun. And then this is a brand that I hadn't heard of before. Rio. anyone who
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that. I have heard of that brand before. But
yeah, but I picked them up on Styles. So this, the pleated and kind of like cinched at the waist denim is in right now. So these also have like a gathering pleat at the bottom. So you can definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Those are, yeah.
These are also either shorter or meant to be like an ankle length. I'm not sure. But if you're looking through the styles on current websites, it can give you some ideas of what to look for in terms of vintage jeans that you might see at thrift store, because those vintage styles are always coming back. So it's definitely good to kind of keep an open mind when you're looking for vintage jeans, and don't just pass things up because they're not big E Levi's. I've done really well selling Jordache jeans. That's one of my favorites to pick up. Wrangler and Lee also, so any of those big name jean brands.
Itano is another one. I've sold some, some of the vintage Itanos.
And then if you're looking out for like super baggy 90s Y2K style jeans, like the Jinko jeans that were really big when I was in middle school, those are back. Yeah. So, keep an eye for those.
Yeah. And then Marie Francois Gerbeau, that's another one that that brand that always, like, especially in the men's baggy vintage jeans, those do well. Yeah, this is a pair of diesel men's jeans that are like distressed, and that brand doesn't necessarily do as well. But when I looked up the style, it is vintage and like Y2K vintage. And there is a following for some of the older diesel jeans too.
Totally.
Yeah, I have this is just an example of we talked about color jeans a little bit. And for the most part, I guess they're not as in style right now, but I don't know. What are your feelings on the color denim?
So my luck with color denim has always been really bad. I think in general, they're going to always sell for less than regular blue jean denim colored jeans. I tend to skip them now if I find them. Unless
I have a feeling there'll be a resurgence with them though, because I know like back in the 90s they were big. Like Gap had I still have some of my 90s Gap jeans. I think like they were green and they were they had all different kinds. But I have a feeling that they're going to come back. But right now, I think it's
that wouldn't surprise me. I think that's a good theory, but definitely have to wait and see, because I have some that just sit forever, so I'm very hesitant to pick them up.
So this is a brand that's sold at Macy's. The brand is Denim & Company, but a lot of them are plus size. It's these are plus size. These are size 3X. But these are going to sell well because of the size. They're a darker wash. So that's something. Always look for the plus sizes. Look for jeans like this. I don't know this brand. It's Liza Bird. They're size 6. But the reason why I picked these up is because they have these awesome.
Ooh, that is fun.
Yeah. So if you find jeans like that have these are new with tags, and they're low-rise boot cut, and somebody is looking for this style. So whenever you see them, if they're not expensive, if you see new with tags, even if it is a brand like New York & Company, which isn't necessarily going to do well, somebody's looking for that style. And if you find them cheap enough, pick them up, because people are going to buy them on the secondhand market if they have the tags. This is a 90s brand that I loved, and I'm determined to fit into these jeans again. There are juniors size, but these are Juju is the brand. I love these jeans. I think you were with me when I bought these.
I think I remember them. Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to lift them. They have these cool cuffs. So these are that's an example of, like some embellish. These are like these Juju did these jeans like that. There are some that you can buy that are kind of upcycled, but these jeans, like one day I'm going to fit back into these. I love these jeans. So And then also I did want to mention with kids jeans, we didn't really touch on it a lot. There's a lot of the same things apply. They don't necessarily sell for as much. However, I do want to say that with one thing that you want to, and I know with my kids, this is important. So this is a pair of Levi's kids jeans. They're 505s. They're boys jeans. They have these adjustable bands in the waist. So what they are is they expand, and you can set the button to different, and it's an elastic that cinches the waist. So look for in the kids jeans. This is big. As a mom, I know this. This is a big thing that parents are looking for. Make sure that you note if you have a pair with the adjustable waistband and take pictures of it, and that will be a selling point. So definitely add that right to your keyword. Back to can you put my screen back on to the okay. So yeah, so just talking about some of the 80s, these are some of the 80s brands to look for, some of the vintage, and you might recognize some of these some of these pockets and what the logos on them. So if you see, and these will sell, a lot of them will sell Etsy, Depop, that's the kind of platforms that you're looking for those. Plus size denim. This is a great article. So the Curvy Fashionista is a great resource, and they talk about this is an article on plus size denim. So we'll put all of this in there, but there are some different profiles and some different brands for plus size denim that you might want to look for. And then this is the article that you had put in there, Lola, for vintage denim. Yeah.
So this was a really cool article to find. It's from the LA Times back in 1995. And so this was actually about how vintage denim is big in Japan, and also that vintage denim has a market. What is it? 20 years, almost 20 years ago now. So
1990.
More than that, 25 years ago. So what we're talking about today, like as much as things change and brands come and go, denim is pretty much forever. And so if you have a good piece of vintage denim, you don't have to worry about it having a sort of shelf life. You can list it and forget it, because eventually the right buyer and the right size will come along for that piece of vintage denim, and it's never going to go out of style.
Yeah. Also, this is another article on vintage rebound that talks about, what I think you found this article too. So,
oh yeah, so
I can put that in the.
This is more recent, also about vintage denim. So it's just a couple articles that I was looking at that talk about, basically the history of an interest in vintage denim. So it's, it changed a lot with the internet. This article talks about how much easier it is to source, which we're all familiar with. And so how, in an interesting way, it seems like the access to denim has also fueled the interest in wearing vintage denim. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that it's easier to source vintage jeans than ever before.
Definitely. So, and I remember, it's funny because when I was in high school, I remember buying vintage jeans in the thrift store, and back then it was like 70s jeans, so, 80s, 70s, 80s jeans. So, so this is how you measure jeans, just real quick. So get, not a rigid measure. We talked about measure. We did a whole show on measurements. So we're not going to go too deep into this. So, if you want, but, just a sewer's measuring tape. And these are the things that you want to measure. And I don't put the knee, I do put the thigh a lot, but the knee isn't if you want to measure, but this is the inseam, that's the crotch, the bottom, the leg opening. And I do that for like wide leg and boot cut usually.
I almost always do leg opening, because if it's a skinny jean, then you don't want it to be too much wider than your actual ankle. So that's important for that. If it's a boot cut or a wide leg, you obviously want to know how wide, and especially if it's like a really, really dramatic flare, then you want to put the measurement to be able to kind of back that up. But that's generally what I do. Waist, front rise, because as Nay was saying, the rise is super important. It's a huge part of what the style will look like on you. Inseam and leg opening. I don't generally do thigh and knee.
Yeah, I don't either, except
I might do
I am
hip.
hippie, and that is one of the things that I need. But you know, you also want to take into account fabric. You always want to, so denim can be just straight cotton. It can be poly cotton blend. It can be, and it can also be, have a mix of cotton and elastane or spandex. Usually that spandex or elastane content is like 1 or 2%. It's like a really small percentage, but it gives the jeans stretch. And if you don't put a picture of your fabric tag and of the and mention it in your description, you will have people asking because they'll want to know if the jeans have stretch or not. So that is very important. This is a good article too on how to measure jeans. If you know, I can put that in there, but basically it's pretty self-explanatory with that diagram that I showed. And then I did want to go through real quick. This is hard to see, but if you're listing jeans in the item specifics, if you're listing a pair of jeans in eBay, there are a lot of item specifics. So yeah, so you definitely want to make sure that and if you're doing pre-owned condition, use the condition box. I know you don't get that on mobile, but if you have major flaws or something that you really want to, it is worthwhile to go on your laptop or desktop and fill in that condition description box. And then use all your photos, show close-ups, show all of the any flaws, show the tags, the labels, the care tags, the fabric content, any buttons, any, you know, all of those things, you know, use all of your 12 photos. And then, so the size can be, so there's the size types, and that this is pretty much in any, so juniors are always odd sizes, and that's like 3, 5, 7, 9. And the size can be either, usually with jeans, it's either a number or the weight. These numbers go by the waist size. So, and with jeans, you'll see like, this is on men's jeans a lot, like you'll see like 30 times, you know, 30. That is going to be the waist followed by the inseam. So that's how the sizes are. And then you're going to want, sorry.
Oh, if you're using a waist measurement as the size, still put the waist measurement of the actual item, because especially for women's sizes, some of those sizes are still a little bit of vanity sizing. So the actual waist might be an inch or so bigger. And then you also just don't know how the garment has worn over time. So it may have shrunk, it may have stretched out. You don't know how much it deviates from the original sizing. So definitely.
And I'll try to find a size equivalent and put that in there too. Like a 26 waist is going to be like about like a size 4 or so, you know, something, you know, so if you can, you know, get an approximate size equivalent there too. So then, you know, you're going to want the type and you can enter your own. It's going to be, you know, I don't know, slim. And they should have more options there, but okay. So the style is, okay. So there we go. This is the style. And these are a lot of the styles that we talked about: mom, skinny, straight, tapered. So get to know, and a lot of times the style is right there on the tag. It's right there, you know, like mine, the jeans I'm wearing say high rise or high waist skinny, you know, so it's right there. So, but no, you know, get to know those, and definitely fill that out. The accents, like if they have any of the embroidery, or sometimes they have like glitter, or, you know, like some kind of something on the pocket, or, you know, so definitely, you know, mention all of that. So the rise is not necessarily in a number here. So you can enter your own, you can enter an actual number, but they want to know basically, is it a high waisted? Is it ultra low, low, mid, high? So learn your rises and know like an 8 to 10 inch is about average. If you have like a 7-inch rise, a 6-inch rise, that's going to be like extra. That's going to be very low rise. So, but you can basically visualize it too. You can tell like when it's going to be shorter from the, from the crotch to the top of the waist. So
yeah, and I would for this because eBay is really encouraging searches to like spit out things based on the item specifics. I would use what they recommend as much as possible because they're going to encourage searchers to look for those terms. And then include the actual measurement in your listing. So like for this, put low rise, medium rise as it shows in that drop down, and then put the actual measurement in your description.
Yes, exactly. So then definitely fill out the inseam, the waist size, they're vintage or not. The closures, do they have a zipper fly? Do they have a button fly? What are, so, and then the fabric type is, usually it's going to be denim for jeans, but, so fabric wash, we didn't talk a lot about the washes. So I can pull up, after this, I'll pull up, I have like just a quick rundown of some of the washes, but there's the dark wash, which is something obviously like this. There's acid washed or bleached, or like this is going to be this is going to be not an acid wash. This is actually bleached, but acid wash is, I don't have an example, but it's very big in the 80s and it's a very obvious kind of wash. So you definitely want to have your fabric wash. And then also, they also have, a lot of the jeans will have like Mother, The Looker, 7 for Mankind, Austin. A lot of them will have an actual name on the jeans. A lot of denim companies, a lot of jeans companies do that. So you're going to want to put that too, because people will search for, they like the 7 for All Mankind Josephina jeans, and that's what they're looking for. So they're going to search that in there. So put it in your keywords if you can, but it's really important to get that in the item specifics too.
Yeah. And a lot of companies will have a standard line of different washes and a standard line of different styles, and then the styles will come in all of those different washes. So you might have people who are loyal to a cut of jean. You might have people who are loyal to a wash of jean. So if you ever can, it's really good to figure out exactly what both of those names are. And this is for more modern jeans, of course, like not vintage jeans, but like for that, like the Mother, The Looker, like there are people who always want that jean and they might own it in 4 different washes. So, really good to have those details.
Yeah, so most jeans are going to be machine washable, but some of them do have like, a lot of embroidery or details or whatever that are going to be. So definitely do include the garment care. And, distressed is obviously something like this, where you've got holes and, things where, that's a lot. Factory wear is a lot of it is factory wear, but, and then the fit, so you're going to want, you just make sure that you do fill out all of these. And then for the fabric, you want to definitely, like I said, put in if it is a stretch or if it is, a lot of the pocket type is going to be, the 5 pocket design is very common for jeans, which has, the front, back, and then the tiny pocket, the 2 front, and then the tiny coin pocket, it's called, like right there. So, and then, there's just so many. So definitely make sure that you're filling out all of these item specifics when you're dealing with jeans. And then, I thought I had my washes. I guess I must have closed that window. Okay. Well, I did have like a guide for fabric washes. I'll put that in the description. But you can see, like, this is a really good example of, like acid wash, or not acid wash. This is bleached actually, but, that, and something like this would be really good on Depop. So, and I'll put the link to that guide. I have, it's got like pictures of the different washes and whatnot and what they look like. So, I just wanted to go through some of the BOLOs and the solds that I have. So, okay, so this is like really outrageous, but
I'll put you got it.
I'm trying to get, no, I'm trying, okay, there we go. So this is really outrageous, and you're probably not going to sell a pair of jeans for $51,000.
But you never know.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. So these are like original World War II Levi's. So Levi's have definitely the most, the craziest, and they don't even have a lot of, it's what kills me here is they didn't use their 12 photos up here. They have like 5
this is an old school seller with the like HTML template, like
yeah, it's crazy. So they have do have more pictures down here. Okay. But you can see like what these are like crazy vintage Levi's. So so yeah, so some Levi's will sell for that much. It is insane, but yeah. Look at that inside of those. That is crazy. But yeah, so there are $51,000 pairs of Levi's out there. It's not going to be something that you're going to commonly find, but you know, stranger things have happened. You never know. So, and you can see the big E. That's another thing that's talked about a lot is the big E on the pocket. And so look for the big E. I think there was actually a reissue of the big E, but the original big E's are what you're really looking for. They can sell for a lot. So, but that's going to be the exception to the rule. You're not going to. Here's Gucci's does these are awesome. These are runway jeans.
Very
these
cool.
are the feather pockets and everything. Yeah, look at they're beaded and everything. $5,000. So again, look in the denim section. You never know what the thrift stores or flea market or wherever you are, garage sale. They don't necessarily know what they have. These are 19. I don't know what spring bottom. These sold for $17,500. That is insane. But there's collectors. There are Levi's collectors out there who are looking for specific things, and they will pay. So here's an example of selvage Big E jeans from the 50s that sold for, what was it, like $8,000, which is insane. But again, there are Levi's that will, and you can see the button fly there, and I know they have the big, and I know they have the Big E's.
And great words of wisdom.
So that is crazy. So.
It's so good to see you back in the chat, Betsy. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. And I hope you're feeling better. But Betsy says, I've never sold like that, but I'm a small-time seller and I've sold multiple pairs for $100 or more. Yeah, that's what I love about jeans. I don't think I've sold that many pairs for over $100, but I sell a lot of them for over like 60 to 80, and I pick them up for $5, to under $10, and they're easy to research. They're fun to research because there's so much history. So it's easy to fall, if you want to fall in down these rabbit holes and research the heck out of, all kinds of different vintage styles and have them find a good home. So.
Yep. So even like the high end designers like Louis Vuitton makes jeans, you can see these go for like $2,000, but you never know what you're going to find. So this brand, do you know this brand by any chance?
I do not. Those look awesome. I hope I would pick those up.
Yeah, so I saw a few of these and they all go for like $1,000. So Balloon denim jeans, they're Endless denim brand. I don't know the brand Endless, but they all are like heavily embroidered like this. It's crazy. And they all go for like this price. So if you ever see like some crazy embroidered jeans, these are new with tags. You never know. And then
jeans are fun to pick up on a hunch too. Like I haven't done anything quite like that, but I have picked up a few pairs of like local designers that were really niche. But like there was one pair I picked up that were like really popular with like motorcycle kind of people, and they had a whole following, but I had never heard of them, but they were just cool and edgy looking. And so, you take them home and find out who they are, who they're made by, and they can have some really cool stories and also have really cool price tag on them. So,
yep. So So Amiri is a brand that I found that does, it's an Italian brand, and they seem to sell for a lot as well. So if you ever find that brand, that's another one. A gallery, a Chrome Hearts is another one. I keep finding these that are, do you know these?
They look
Lola?
familiar. I feel like I've maybe seen these before.
I found a lot of these on Poshmark and on eBay, and they all always go for like ridiculous amounts. So look for those kind of. Most of them have like those leather patch crosses on them. So so look for
I feel like
that.
I've seen them on, like,
You never
Instagram.
know.
Definitely haven't bought them or seen them in the thrift store, but they look familiar.
Fear of God is another brand that seems to do extremely well. You can see that those are $700 there.
That's a new brand for me too, so I'll definitely have to remember that one.
Yeah, so I talked about in the Ralph Lauren episode the double RL, and some of those, a lot of these have selvage, and these are called waist overalls, like the throwback term from that's. But these have the selvage. I know these have selvage because a lot of the double RL are, but those can go for a lot too. These are $388.29 US. So, and then I had talked about the long and lean. These only went for $35. But again, there are people that are dedicated to those Gap long and lean. So definitely look for
and
discontinued styles.
The buyer here paid for priority shipping, so total that's a chunk of money for priority.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Especially if you're finding them at the D Squared is another one that that I found does really well. These went for about $460 US, and so if you do a search for, like, if you do a Poshmark search for highest to lowest too, you will find some of the brands that can. There's the Chrome Heart cross jeans. You'll see those, the 60s biggie, so you'll see some of the brands if you search that way. There's that Amiri brand again. Balmain is a high-end brand. So you'll see, if you do a search like that, you can see some of those high-end brands.
Yeah, this is definitely something I love to do. Like, if you have time to kill, just put in a broad search term into Poshmark and look at the sold high to low, and you'll discover all kinds of brands and styles that you might not have known before. It's just a great way to, to kind of steady up when you have extra time. Also,
if you just do a search for just jeans in Poshmark, it's going to bring up, it's going to sort by just shared, but you can also, relevance, just in, and sometimes that'll bring up some of the trending brands. And you also will see here on the left, that's why I did this, you'll see a whole list of brands, of jeans brands. And a lot of these are brands that are trending on Poshmark, popular brands. So you're going to want to, learn some of those brands. And that's another good way that you can learn some of them. And then you can also do filters in your searches from, like, let's say like $250 down, so this is a search for, so you can see maybe some of the more reasonable finds that you're going to, because if you just search from high to low, you're going to see like the crazy $1,000 brands that you might find, but they're not going to be
much less likely, but these are more in the realm of possibility for sure.
Yeah. Like Redone, here's a pair of Levi's Redone that went for $250. So that's another great way to search, and you'll see people lot them up too. Some of them are, and then I did a search from $100 down, and you can see, some of the brands there, like Citizen. I mean, I'm surprised at some of the brands that are here, like Cloth and Stone is an Anthro brand, Citizens of Humanity. There's a pair that sold for $100, so you never know. So it is a good way to find some of those.
It looks like that was a pair of overalls, which is definitely something that I'd still pick up if I find them. The full-length overalls especially can go for quite a bit.
The cloth. Yeah, these are overalls. Yeah, the denim. Yeah. So
I've sold Madewell overalls for a ton. I think I actually sold those overseas too. So someone looking for, I think they didn't have Madewell in their country, but they maybe saw someone wearing them on Instagram or something and were willing to pay for the shipping and a significant markup from in-store prices. So you never know.
Yep. So you'll see some of those brands. Here's Free People, Rag and Bone. Some of the most common brands. Alice and Olivia, Mousy. So some of these brands you might already know, but some of the brands might be new to you. And you can see like some of the reasonably sold. Like, some of these are selling, if you do like a search for 100 down, you can even do like 50 and down and find some of the good bread and butter kind of, brands that way. So that's a great way. And then you can also search men's. So you'll see Rock Revival seems to sell really well with men's jeans right now.
I get so heartbroken by Rock Revival jeans because I find them and then I'll look closely at them and they're like missing all of the rhinestones and they're just like in really bad shape. That's why they were donated, and I'm just like, oh, so close. I've never found one that I've actually.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dolce and Gabbana men's jeans seem to be doing very well right now too. So you can definitely search that way. Here's a dictionary. So if you do a search too, like a Google search, visual glossary, you can find so many resources. Pinterest has so many. And I will put that in. I'll put that in there too. These are Hudson jeans, but they're really cool Hudson jeans, and these sold on Depop. They're buy it now right now for $120. So you can definitely find some, if you find some of those interesting, some of the more well-known brands, but if you find some of the interesting washes and stuff like that, you can, Depop is the place. Embellished jeans. I sold a Pepe denim jacket on Depop a while back for quite a bit. Look for, jeans like this are going to sell well on Depop, so know your, these are Gerbaud jeans I talked about. These are definitely going to be vintage 90s. And this is kind of like that streetwear look, but they always sell well. These are only $35. Some of them sell more, some of them sell less, but it is a pretty good vintage selling brand. So, so that's it did you want to add anything else? We're way over our time. So.
I just wanted to mention a couple things to look at when you're sourcing is to, look carefully for flaws. Some are deal breakers, some are not. I would always look at the condition of the crotch. If there's any, staining, one is gross. I would skip that. But fraying or wear, it's really hard to repair that. So I would skip those. Fraying and wear in other places actually can be kind of cool. If you want to, a big thing right now is like visible mending. So if you wanted to buy a pair and take the time to mend them yourself, you could actually then charge up for that because it's a look that people are looking for. And then look for missing belt loops or torn belt loops. Definitely not a deal breaker, but one thing that you want to mention because it's something that's easy to overlook. And then also look at an example of this at the bottom of your jeans. Oh, shoot, sorry, this is the wrong pair. But I have picked up jeans that have, there we go, that will have on the cuffs, like right here, will have just big gashes from someone who's wearing jeans that are a little bit too long for them. And I have overlooked that and then been really sad when I went to list them. So those are just the places where I would look for wear if you're deciding whether or not to pick up a pair of jeans.
Yes.
And that's it.
Okay. So a lot of information here. So okay. Sorry, I'm not going to touch it. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So our market report real quick with some of the solds that I've had this week are, I sold this. I paid $0 because a friend gave me a bunch of patterns and I sold it for $30 plus shipping. This is one of those Vogue Paris originals that we've talked about in our sewing pattern issue episode. So, another one, you were with me when I thrifted this jacket.
I remember that. That was so
blanket
cool.
kind of design. Yeah. So I paid $7.99. I did sell it for $30. I was hoping to get a little more, but still not a bad sale. and that sold on Poshmark. And I sold this Coach bag, which was just a tiny, tiny little wristlet bag, and that sold for $30. So, and I paid $5 for that one, so that wasn't bad. And then Hudson, I did sell a pair of jeans there. These were men's Hudson jeans. These were tiny for men's size because they had 30 waist, so 30, 32. And they sold for 25. And this guy was so eager to get these that he's been sending me offers for months now on these. And I finally gave it to him for $25 because they were still sitting. So, and they were a smaller men's size. I paid $49, sold them for only $25, but still not bad for that. And then, that's it. So, and then I just wanted to, we have a question for you. What is your favorite brand of jeans and why? So let us know in the YouTube comments. And
your favorite jeans to wear, your favorite jeans to sell.
Yeah. Yep. So definitely.
As I said in the chat, I have not done the crotch check and been sad when I got home. So yeah, don't be mean.
Yeah, definitely look at that. So that don't be. And then where you can find us, we're all over the place. Lola's mostly Lola Run or Lola Thrifts on Instagram, and I am Thrifty everywhere except for eBay, where I am Colbray *Dazzle. And email us
nailothrifts@gmail.com with any ideas for another episode, or a guest you would love to see on the show, or a question you would like us to answer. Whatever you've got, we love to hear from you all the time. Or leave us a comment down below with questions, comments, anything you've got. And share this with your friends if it was helpful for you. I know a couple people in the chat said that they were already, gleaning some good information for listing their jeans. So we love hearing that so much. So
yes. And favorite jeans to sell or wear, Brian, whatever you want to. Yeah. So, or both, if you want to. Yeah. So, because I do have different brands that I like selling versus what, I will not be looking for universal thread jeans to sell necessarily, but I will buy them for myself all day because, they're a lower end Target brand. But again, like I said, they fit me so well. So, and then next week, we will be talking about cottage core, fashion, and trend related items. And that is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern next week because I do have an appointment. So we do switch our time sometimes, but next week it's going to be a little later. So join us next week. And thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, so good to see everyone in the chat. And if you're watching this later, thank you too. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.